G'day. Welcome back to the channel. It's Jimmy Trades, fresh and ready to go on this Thursday morning. Hope you're all doing well. I appreciate everyone's patience where I was off the charts yesterday, so I wasn't sharing any information on Twitter or in Discord. I needed a rest. My body was screaming at me. It was telling me I was fatigued. So I didn't want to obviously enter the markets and risk any capital. Therefore, I opted to sit the day out, which was actually a really good decision. I feel much better for it today, refreshed and ready to go. So thank you again for being patient. The midweek market meetup still went yesterday. We still ran that yesterday. I may have come across a little bit flat during that, and that is the reason why. I was just battling some fatigue. So hopefully the information provided was still, good, and you got some value out of that. So we'll get into today and do the same thing. So please, if you haven't already, sub to the channel, hit that notification icon, and crush that like button. Just once is fine, and you need to crush it once. And hang around to the end because I've got something to mention. So hang around to the end and we'll mention that. All right, let's go on to where we always start, and that is the calendar. So what do we got? We've got, let me just do this because I much prefer looking at the week we have right now. Okay, there we go. So today we have final GDP and unemployment claims. When the two are together, we probably will find a little bit more volatility than just unemployment claims on their own. We also have Fed Chair Powell speaks at 9:20. Seems like a random time, but it is what it is. So it's before open. So we'll be looking to trade after open, but just anticipate there might be quite a lot of volatility at this time. Okay. Usually when Powell speaks, the market does something wild. So you might be able to use that to expedite some evals though. So if you choose to do that, grab those Apex evals. Still at 80% off using code Jimmy. And if you feel inclined, grab some My Funded Futures evals using code Jimmy as well. All right, let's move over to the charts. Seemed like it was quite a good day yesterday from my small review, and not so much on indices, but there might have been something. But might as well start with oil, because oil has finally had that rejection from this FEG, and quite a nice one at that. So we've moved from this internal level here, and we've now pushed down into this internal level, and we are having a reaction from this level as well. So we're at a point of interest. We've had a reaction from that point of interest. Let's clear this chart, all these tabs here. Therefore, I'd be looking to have a bullish bias today, because we are running from this internal, and that's our point of interest, our bearish point of interest that we have reacted to. Okay, so bullish, our bullish point of interest, not bearish. Okay, so bullish on the daily for CL. And I know there was a really good short that played out during New York Open yesterday. But it is what it is. I wasn't there, so I get ready for today. Okay, so hourly structure, we're still bearish at the moment. We don't have a bullish change in the state of delivery or anything like that. We have this leg here that took liquidity, so we can actually run our projections. And look, we've come nearly to that -2 level. And down there we do have LR, low resistance liquidity. On our side of price, we have high resistance liquidity. So we'll be just keeping an eye on, obviously, we're resting right in a bearish FEG here at the moment. You know, we don't have that change in state of delivery yet. We are close to a -2, which is not unusual to see a reaction or retracement. If we are going to move bullish, then we need to push through the FEG here, obviously. And we're being a little bit indecisive now that we've reached back up into that level. So I wouldn't say my bias or structure is aligned yet. We do have a continuation breaker here as well. FEG aligned. So price could even come up and retest this level before moving back down. We hit 2R on that. Easy. Look at that. Nearly 4R on the hourly. So I'll be keeping an eye on what price does through here. And I'm happy to revisit my bias as well. If you know, the structure doesn't change, if we keep moving lower, then, you know, maybe we can look for a short. But it's just because we're located within that daily bullish FEG, that's our area of interest, that we look for longs. So no alignment in the bias or structure just yet. Okay, let's have a look at Euro futures. Well, do you want to have a quick look at that trade from yesterday? Yeah, I do. On CL, let's have a look. Here we are. I think this is it here. Yep. So here was the breaker. I mean, just a lovely little trade. Here was a stop hunt. And then we have our FEG aligned with the stop hunt. So we've got our, with the breaker. So this is our bearish breaker. We have our FEG aligned. With the breaker, we have our stop hunt into our higher time frame point of interest. So let's just drop back to the hourly and see what that was. So we were using this FEG here. Okay, that was our higher time frame point of interest. So if we just run a line through here, drop back down to the 5 minute. So that was our higher time frame point of interest. We had a stop hunt into that point of interest, and then we moved away and we displaced through that breaker. Once we got a close here on the 1140 candle, once that closed, Then we can look for an entry. We would put a limit order on the bottom of the breaker. We'll put our stop at the top of the breaker, or give it some breathing room. It's really up to the individual. You know, it might be smart to put it, in this case, above these highs. Something like this. And then aim for 2R. And it did it easy. So a great little trade. A great little trade. So you entered at 11:45, exit at 12:15. So 30 minutes, done and dusted. 102 ticks. That's a really nice trade on oil. Really nice. Okay. Got that out of my system. Let's go and have a look at Euro futures. All right. There we go. Look at that. So we were looking for price to react to the swing high here. And we got exactly that yesterday. Price reacted and sold off. So we can target back at this internal. So from external to internal. Looking at price to reach back into this bullish FEG. It's still open. It hasn't had to close through. It's only wicked into that. So we can still target that bullish FEG for our draw. So bearish on Euro futures. Let's have a look at NQ now. Actually, let's go back to 6E and just have a look at the structure quickly. And we can see a nice unicorn here. We have a high. There is a high here. Or you could use this as the leg and then up. I'd probably do that. So we have, where's the brush here? We have a swing point and a swing point. So we get this for our unicorn. Okay. So we have an hourly bearish unicorn. We can run our projections off of here. This is the leg that took liquidity. And we have the -2 to -2.5. I mean, that's just a sweet draw, that. You know, low resistance liquidity, perfectly aligned with our -2 to -2.5. That's a really nice target. And it's close to that bullish FEG that we've identified price to reach to. Price is reacting to this bearish FEG. Okay, we can see that price moves straight off the midpoint to the tick, and it's now also retesting the FEG again. So really nice example here of bearish price action, targeting this as our area of interest with the low resistance liquidity. On the other side of price, we've got high resistance liquidity on our side of price. So this is a really nice setup for bearish price action. So overall, bearish on Euro futures. Now we can move on to NQ. We had a nice expansion today. Yesterday was still a little bit indecisive because we were located at all-time highs on ES. So with the correlation, that's somewhat to be expected. Price is now located within this bearish FEG. I'm not going to be immediately bearish, however. We've had some really nice expansion today. Will we see a New York reversal? It is possible, but I guarantee you once we get down to the hourly that there's no change in the state of delivery or anything like that just yet. Let's go and have a look at the hourly. We'll come back to the daily. Yeah, huge amount of expansion. So we see that we had a bullish unicorn. We don't like the cursor. Much prefer the cross. Okay. FVG aligned with the bullish breaker. So we can have a look at our projections. And we've already reached max extension here. We could also have a look at, what's this? This is the Asia session, is it? Oh, that's from yesterday. Yesterday's PM session. So it's actually just been all expansion today. And even if we use this manipulation leg, we're nearly at the -2. So we might see a retracement here. There's also some news that was forwarded to me today. Let me just see if I can grab that. Bear with me. Here's the news. Dock workers likely to strike at East Coast and Gulf Coast ports. So there's potential that this could really hurt the stock market today if this happens. So it's just something to be aware of as well. You know, if the port's not getting the products, it could result in low consumer spending and immediate money lockup. For Americans, that means NQ could be affected via Amazon not being able to fulfill orders, etc., because of the port strikes. Just things like that can really impact the market. Thanks to my buddy Chemo for sharing that information. So just keep that in mind as well today. So it's very bullish at the moment, and it looks like, you know, we're still respecting bullish PD arrays. Let's hop back out to the daily for a second. So we might see some expansion continue to the midpoint here. It's one of those cases where the trend is your friend as well. So we're still trending up. So I'm going to lock in a bullish bias. The market structure is still showing me a bullish bias, so I'm going to lean on that today, at least heading into the market open. And we'll see what happens. Could get it completely wrong. Who knows? ES, well, we're at all-time highs, so yesterday I had a bearish close on ES and a slightly bullish close on NQ Yaka. I guess that makes sense because it did sweep all-time highs just and create new all-time highs. Gee, that's a tongue twister for me. New all-time highs. Fayaz will get a kick out of that. I'm sure I'll get a comment. So look, the trend is your friend. We're still trending up here. Got some expansion today, so we have nothing on the left of the chart to work from for a point of interest. So we'll stay bullish on ES. Let's move down to the hourly. So we do have a bullish unicorn here on the hourly as well. With FEG aligned. Can use this leg here for our potential draw. You know, this -2 to -2.5 region could be our potential draw. There's no change in the state of delivery here just yet. You know, I would expect some retracement, and then we'll see if price can move higher. So if we could put in an order block here and retrace back into this FEG, for example, and then continue to move higher, something like that. And we'll see what happens. So staying with the trend today. Let's roll on over to gold. Let's have a look at the daily. So we had some cooling off yesterday. We can see. Again, that's to be expected. We had multiple days of quite large expansion. We closed above each previous day, and we did close just below Tuesday's close. However, I will remain bullish on gold for the pure reason that, again, the trend is your friend. We've pushed out of this bullish FEG, and we're still continuing to move higher. So likely to see the all-time highs continue. Let's have a look at the hourly. Relative equal highs. Definitely looking to see those taken. We can see price hasn't been able to close below these wicks. We have an order block here. So that could be a level that price pulls back to, aligned with this FEG also, before continuing higher. So I think there's still a willingness for price to move higher here. It's not pretty, but there is a bullish unicorn here. It's not pretty because of this chop, but we have a sweep here as our stop hunt. Price chops through. We get an FEG aligned with the breaker, and we get a close above the breaker. So we have a continuation unicorn that has just set up on gold. So that's something to watch, see how price reacts here, and if we can get price to move higher off of this breaker. And if we were to target 2R, that would see price reaching for 2,700. So there's a bit of a forecast for you. Not financial advice. All right, Dixie. Well, we got the bias wrong yesterday, didn't we? Wow. Price rocketed up. We were targeting this low here. I mean, okay, so we moved out of this bearish FEG. When we did that, we put in a low here. So we did sweep that low. And look, maybe we could have been looking at this low as our point of interest for price to continue higher. But this low was, you know, it was right there. Price clearly opened lower and it looked like it was targeting this level. So, but anyway, we got that wrong. We are moving from external because this is still considered external, and we would be looking for price to reach back into this bearish FEG, because once again we haven't had a close through that, so it's still valid. So bullish on Dixie. Moving down to the hourly. We've got a clear change in the state of delivery here. We have FEG, tiny FEG here, but we do have an FEG here and another one here. So we have that displacement through this level. That's the first moment in time. We get a change in trend. Okay. And that's obviously an area that is a sweep of an important level, which was the, if we have a look, this swing low that we were talking about. Okay. And then price has moved higher off of that. So it bounced perfectly off this bullish change in the state of delivery. I would also use this leg for a manipulation leg because it also respected this change in the state of delivery. We don't have a high and a low here. And we can also see that that -2 to -2.5 is really nicely aligned with this low resistance liquidity here. We have equal highs, smooth edges through here. So a good target area for price as well. See if we get a reaction out of this bullish FEG on the hourly for price to move higher. Okay, GBP. Wow. I do like it when we see our concepts play out. I really do. We had a clear draw here yesterday. And I know this is the hourly, but it's just we've jumped straight to that. And the markups were still here. So this is really great to see. This is our concepts at play right here. Impressive. So target met. Let's look at the daily and see what the daily shows us. So we had the legacy high or old high. I just call it a legacy high. It's just that it was so far back in time. Back from March. Oh, it Was it the high or the FVG? It was a high. I think it was this one. That's the one. So that's the legacy high that we were talking about. Price wanting to reach for. We got that reaction. And price moved lower right away. We'd watch this level here for price to react to. If we do in fact continue lower, price has had a nice reaction to this closing price. It just opened, dipped down and went straight back up. So I mean, even these lows, we have equal lows here on the daily. So that's a really nice draw. So high, we want to look to internal. Our nearest internal is this level here. It's ever so tiny, but it is there. But our first draw would be here, this swing low. Let's have a look. Let's clear that up. So the idea yesterday was that on the hourly, it looked like it would be bearish. And our concepts played out. Here's those equal lows here. Price resting inside this bearish FEG. We have this balanced price range here. So even if price does continue higher, I reckon we'll see a reaction there. So overall, I'm still bearish on GBP because I just think, looking at what we're seeing here, we're inside this bearish FEG, reacting to that. We haven't got to close through that level yet. If we do, we have this balanced price range to consider as well. Plus this bearish order block that we see here. And that's where price is reacting at the moment, off the bottom of that order block. And I'd anticipate price to come down and seek out these equal lows. Let's have a look at Euro USD. So we have price swept this high, and we had that nice reaction. And I'll be looking for price to reach to internal. We have low resistance liquidity through here as well. High resistance liquidity, low resistance liquidity. So a nice area for price to reach towards. All right, let's start wrapping it up there, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. As always, please sub to the channel. If you haven't already done so, please like the video and turn the notifications on. And to celebrate a milestone, I am giving away my funded futures starter account. So we have one my funded futures account to give away. So check out my Twitter and follow the rules to enter. The post will be going live this morning on Twitter, so just keep an eye out for that. I love doing these giveaways. I love giving back to the community. I appreciate everyone's support. So please go and check that out. And you've got to be in it to win it. All right, guys, take care. Have a great Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Bye for now.